finally we're gonna take a walk through the garden, and hopefully this time I'll get this video out. It's been a crazy, I guess, almost month. You know, trying to get the raised beds in before planting time, and there's still so much to clean up, and taking care of my parents is, you know, takes quite a bit of time. It's just been a crazy month. So anyway, I was gonna take you through this video. You will see when I very first planted it, like the day that I was getting things in, and then a couple weeks later, and now it's about another week later. So things have changed a lot since the very beginning, but I don't know, I guess you get to see it all in one video, so I guess it's like three garden walks in one. So let's start at the beginning, and I'll show you where we're at. Hey guys, it's Kim from Runaway Homestead, and we're finally getting to plant the garden. We've got all the beds built and got wood chips for the walkways. Hopefully we're going to get some stuff done today. Perry's taking a break on a lot of his things he's got going on to help me today in the garden. So, well, let me show you where we're at. So there's a lot of picking up and stuff to do. There's the broccoli and kale bed. I got a few cucumbers in at the end of this bed so it can go up the cattle panel. By the way, this is May the 19th. And we have never ever had to wait this long to start things in our garden. I got these pole beans planted. These are some beans that my sister sent me last year, but I got them planted, and then we got this cold front that came through. And I'm telling you, it was more than a cold front. The morning that I came out here, it was 27 degrees. And I was so worried about a few things. We really hadn't gotten much in, but the beans I had planted, and they were just starting to like break the surface of the ground. And I had covered everything. But the potatoes, they've already started recovering, but if you can see, everything you could see looked like this, but they're starting to come back, so I'm glad of that. But these were covered. It was just so cold that it froze them, but this is the potato bed. And I planted these are bush beans that I planted pretty close together, and I'm starting, as you can see, I'm starting to thin them out. And instead of just tossing them, we've got so much rain this week and like overcast. I thought maybe they might survive. So I'm digging them up and putting them over here. And they look like they're doing okay. And this is my asparagus bed, and I'm trying something this year. I'm going to put strawberries in and see if they'll kind of take over and still let the asparagus poke through. This is the third or fourth year, I think. And I've got, I don't know if you can see it, some pretty good spears in here. They usually don't even make it in the house. I just snack on them out here, but one day hopefully we'll get enough to take in the house all at once. And this is going to be the herb garden. I have some dill that reseeded itself that's coming up. It's right under that. I put, I don't even know what it is, but just to keep Ellie from crushing things. And that's a sage that came up from last year. And then there's a little parsley there. But that's all I have in here. And the greenhouse is just overflowing here. My peppers and tomatoes. Some of them I've gotten potted up. And the ones that I've done that to have gotten some good size on them. But I didn't have enough big pots because I don't normally do that. So some of them are still down here, and they're not as big as the other ones, but I'm pretty sure they'll catch up. I got a Kajari melon going here. I got one over here kind of starting to vine. Those really haven't started vining, but they're blooming. So I'll probably pull those blooms off once I get them in, and I'm hoping to get them in today. I saw where Living Traditions did really well with the Jetstar Tomato, and I tried to find those, and where they said they got them, they were out. So I got something that sounded similar, and it's called the Jet Setter. So I got seeds for the Jet Setter and started those here at the house. But I was at the grocery and I saw Jetstar tomatoes in a flat, so I bought a flat of those, and they were just little seedlings, just about the same size as mine, you know, like about this size. And the soil that was in those, in the flat, like dried out so fast. I wanted to get them in some better soil, so I potted them up with some of the soil that Perry brought home from work, and this is them. And they were I just put them in little pots that I had saved from flowers and stuff that I had bought last year, and I mean, they took off like crazy. So I think they're just about ready to outgrow these pots, and we're actually going to get them in the ground hopefully today. Well, I've had these tomatoes in the ground for a few days. And I'm hoping to get the rest of my tomatoes in the ground today. So let's get busy. Get these tomatoes in the ground. Okay, so I got my hole dug. I'll show you with my little tool how deep it is. So we'll take the bottom leaves off these. This one's gotten pretty leggy, just waiting to get into the ground. So I'll probably take this one off. Let's see how deep it is. Yep, I at least need to take off this one and this one. But yeah, these have gotten pretty leggy. Okay, so in the hole I'm putting some tomato fertilizer and some rabbit manure. Put a handful of dirt. The worms in here. There's so many worms in this dirt. That's a good thing. Well, I thought that one would end up going anyway. And these two will probably go. But I don't want to do it yet. Okay, let's give it a little drink. Now I just put a little bit of fish emulsion in my watering can. Let's give it a good drink. And there we go. Hey guys, well, it's been 2 weeks since I started this video, and there's just been so much going on. I just couldn't find time to finish it. My priority was getting my plants in the ground. We've never had to wait this long that I can recall. The beginning of this video is going to be 2 weeks ago, and then you'll see where we are now. So let me show you around the garden. Alright, so I let a couple of my broccoli go to seed, but we got all that harvested for the most part. I got my tomatoes in. So I keep meaning to measure this. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think this is about 46 feet of tomatoes just right here. We have tomatoes here. I just put this basil in yesterday. It's looking a little puny. Or no, I think it was the day before. But yesterday I helped Perry with honey and I didn't get to water them. So they're looking a little puny. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tomato plants through here. I got a couple of zucchini and a couple of scallop squash in here. And then my Kajari melons are starting to climb on the cattle panel. So hopefully they'll take off. They're already doing better than last year. In fact, everything is doing better than last year. I think I learned a big lesson last year. And that was with potting up my plants. And if I cannot get them in, I gotta pot them up because they were stunted for so long last year. This is some cucumbers that's gonna grow up this side of the cattle panel. And these are bush tomatoes. I've never grown them before. I plan on giving them a little stake and some support. I'm out of stakes, so I got to get some. My peppers look so much better than last year. They stayed yellow for so long, and I know it had to do with them being in their pots for so long, and then we had so much rain last year. And the ground in here just holds the water because it's such clay soil. So, yeah, they're doing pretty good. I got a little sunflower over there, and I think some hollyhocks. And the beans are just starting to climb. These are the Kentucky Wonder that my sister sent me. And here's the potatoes. I gotta put some more straw in here. One of the chickens got in here and scratched this all up. But they're taken off. They have taken off. I'm anxious to see how they're gonna do. And the Jade bush beans that we have from here over. And then these are a Blue Lake. Oh, wait a minute. These are a Blue Lake pole bean. I had Blue Lake bush beans last year. Could not find Blue Lake pole beans. But this year I found some and ordered them. But these are the ones my sister sent me. And then these are the ones that I ordered. I can't remember the name of the place I ordered these from, but they're starting to vine up. I got some kind of flower planted down here. I can't remember what I put there. We'll see. I can't identify all of my flowers yet. Some of them I can, but some of them that are kind of newer to me, I can't yet. And these are the bush beans that I transplanted, and they're still doing good. They're just like stunted. So I just threw in a couple of okra right there, and then I have some onions that I started from seed this year, which I've never done before, just to see how they're going to do. But next year I hope to have a whole onion bed. There's still a lot of cleaning up to do out here. So this was another bush tomato plant that I found. These are bush beefsteaks, and this is how many that made it. So I threw some sunflower seeds in there. So, and then these are one of the either Chinese noodle beans or the green ones, the asparagus yard-long bean. But yeah, I've never done the bush tomatoes before, so I'm anxious to see how they do. And I had the seeds, so I just thought I'd give it a shot. The ones over here, yeah, Oregon Spring, and they're supposed to be a low seed tomato. So I thought if they did really good, that would be a good tomato to do like diced tomatoes with. So I'm excited about doing those. I use so many diced tomatoes. And the asparagus bed, it's been so crazy, and I was getting just enough asparagus to snack on, and then I just got busy, and so it's done for the year. But hopefully that'll help it for next year and future years. I've got a lot of weeds in here I need to get out, but it's going to be one of those sit down, because they're like up underneath the strawberries. I'm hoping if I can get the strawberries to take over in here, it'll help with the weeds. And these two things, this one and this one, I don't know if they're cucumbers or if they are, I'm hoping they're birdhouse gourds, but I don't know what they are. Or they could be two different things. But we'll see. I had planted birdhouse gourds down in there, and some little critter has eaten them twice. So, and looky here. We're going to try. I know it's probably not a good idea to put corn in a raised bed, but we just left the dirt kind of low, and going to give it a shot. We'll see how it does. I started this one about a week before I started this one, and that was not on purpose. It was just what happened. And my herb bed is getting filled up a little bit. I've got some poor pitiful little plants that I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Running out of room. So I still have to fill in this area with wood chips. And I have these are, I don't know what they're called because I got the pumpkin from the grocery store. But it was a kind of a medium size. It's not like those little Jack B. Little ones. It's maybe 4 times that size. Kind of a medium pumpkin, medium to small, and it's really ribbed, and they're short and squatty. But I got the seeds, I got the pumpkins from the grocery store, and thought, well, let's see if I can grow them. So that's what's in there. And I've got some sugar baby watermelons and some big pumpkins I was going to do. And you'll see I've got a long way to go here. So I'm going to make a couple of rows. It's so weedy right here. It's not even funny. And the ground is horrible. Like, this is the ground that I'm dealing with. Yeah. So not pretty. So the dirt that we had left over, we just put in here, and I'm going to make like 2 rows and cover them with the weed fabric, and put those pumpkins and watermelons on them. And if I got enough room, maybe I'll throw in a few of those tomatoes. Hey, Ellie. Well, I still haven't got this bed cleaned out. Come on, Ellie. But I'm working on it. Still got kale down in there that's producing well. I did get this bed almost cleaned out. I'm not going to go through everything since I already did, but I'm just going to walk through and let you see how things have progressed. So the tomatoes are doing really well. The first, I don't know, almost half are really full of tomatoes already. And they are the Jetstar. And then I have the paste tomatoes after that, and they're starting to get tomatoes. I guess they take a little longer to bloom, but I really need to. I've tied up some, but I really need to tie up some more tomatoes and clean up. But the girls haven't been over to fix their fairy garden, so that's still kind of a mess, but and the weeds are taking over in there. I still haven't gotten in there to weed that bed. I was kind of waiting for some good rain. I like to pull weeds in the rain. They pull lots easier. And the corn is jumping up there. I hope this isn't a big mistake, but I learn better when I make mistakes, so I remember it better. So we'll see. This bed is about a week behind this bed. These are taking their little sweet time. To start climbing, but the flea beetles are kind of eating my ground cherries. All the little holes. But they seem to do that almost every year. And I noticed this yesterday. I'm getting some ground cherries on there. Something's eating my sunflowers that I planted in here. Every day I come in and there's a little top that somebody has nipped off. So not very many sunflowers left. They were all coming up in there too. Must be a little mouse or chipmunk or something. But the tomatoes are doing really well. Got a few little holes on my green beans, and they're starting to climb. These are still a little behind, but that's okay. Comfrey is still jumping. Still haven't got my tomatoes staked, but they're standing up there good. Got some little cucumbers coming on. Oh, and I've been out here. I keep a little paintbrush right here, and I've been pollinating some of my Kajari melons by hand, and I think that's a little Kajari melon right there. There's a couple in here. I wish I knew what would keep the ants off here. Look what the ants do. See where that leaf is all wrinkled up? Look at here. Ants. I've tried cinnamon, just hosing them off. And I guess they're not as bad as they were. But and the squash have just gone nuts. But as far as yesterday, only male flowers that I've seen. But apparently that's how they start, so I couldn't get a squash to grow last year in the ground here. I'm so excited about my tomatoes. Look at those. So excited. And the peppers are doing so good. They're so green. They're so dark green. Well, I will never make the mistake again of letting them get too wet Of course, they were in the ground. I had no choice, and it was rain, so I had no control over that. But now they're in a raised bed where the drainage is better, and also leaving them in their pot too long. If I can't get them in the ground, I will be potting them up. So my problem this year was I didn't have enough pots to pot up everything in my garden. So for the most part, I got everything potted up. There were a few that didn't get potted up to a bigger pot, but these Blue Lake pole beans are doing so good that my sister sent. She's in North Carolina. Hers are already to the top, but mine are getting there. But I'm just so thrilled about these raised beds. I just know it's going to make a huge difference. So sorry it took so long to get this video out, but hopefully the next one won't take almost a month to get out. My priority was to get my veggies in the ground, and I still haven't got it cleaned up yet, but I've got to clean out the chicken coop still and get my compost started. I've got a few plants I need to give away before it's too late to put them in the ground. And then, hopefully, we're already harvesting kale, and I harvested broccoli and radishes. Oh yeah, and we had our first harvest of honey this year. That was very exciting. It's a very light honey, but really good, really good. We were both really excited about that. But I'm ready to start getting some squash and zucchini in. I can't wait to make some zucchini relish. That is the best stuff. And I'll never make pickle relish again. It was just so good. So crunchy. My dad says I'm gonna have a red tomato by the 4th of July. I don't really think I will. I can't wait till the trellises are covered. It seems like there's so far to go, but I know in no time they're gonna be filled in.